Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nilak Narayan. I welcome you all in the National Level Faculty Development Program on the art of keeping students engaged, gaining mastery. It is a program of 6 days, online mode. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nilak Narayan. I welcome you all. Today is the fourth day, and um, we are here to learn more about the art of keeping how to keep students engaged. I welcome you all. Teaching and learning activities have undergone a sea change in recent years. Technological development and rapidly changing industry in requirements are demanding innovative and outcome-based methods of classroom delivery. Effective outcome-based teaching skills are an amalgamation of techniques, skills, judgment, and technology. The 6 day faculty development program on the art of keeping students engaged, gaining mastery, has been conceived to broaden the understanding and practice of advancement and innovative methods of teaching learning in higher education, focusing on the overall outcome. The FDP will address the themes including innovative teaching learning methods, classroom management techniques, cultivating a positive and supportive learning atmosphere, strategies for active teaching, gamification in education, advanced technology in teaching, and AI tools for optimized teaching learning process in higher education. NLFDP under MOU between institutions. Objectives of Objectives of FDP: understanding of innovative approaches and teaching learning engagement in higher education institutions, learning hand on techniques and tools to obtain the desired outcome for a specific course, understanding of the application of research and case based learning in regular classroom delivery, understanding and learning the key concept of outcome mapping and assessment design, understanding of employing artificial intelligence based tools and techniques in regular classroom delivery. So, we are going to learn a lot about this, the art of keeping um, students engaged. Today is 25th April 2024. The topic is strategies for active teaching and learning as per new national education policy. Dr. Pallavi D. Khetkar is going to present the insights on this topic. She is Director Academics at Paral University, Vadodara, Gujarat, India. She presently working as Director Academics in Paral University, Barodara. She has done her masters in English, Educational Management and Education. Also completed PhD in Education from the Maharaja Sauraj Sauji Rao University of Baroda, Gujarat. Her areas of specialization are quality assurance in education, ITC in education, educational administration, sustainable learning, English literature and grammar, English language communication, communicative skills, educational management, leadership and motivation, research methodology. She has contributed as a scientific committee member in the first international conference on professional development of instructors in higher education and training institutions in CABCIN conference, a project funded by the Erasmus and program of the European Union. She was deputed for workshop on capacity building of teachers in higher education to Ghent University, Belgium under CABCIN CIN project funded by Edemus for 5 days from 25th February to 1st March 2019. He has conducted more than 12 national and international workshops and training sessions for teachers on ICT and modern pedagogical teachings techniques. She has published 2 books in international publications and 22 papers published in national and international journals, as well as book chapters. She has successfully completed a short term online course on outcome based pedagogy principles on effective teaching from SWAM NPTEL to IIT Kharagpur, May 2018, also successfully completed MOOC course on blended learning practice offered jointly by the Commonwealth of Learning and Athabas University, Canada from 12th July to 8th August 2020. Completed 3 week of MOOC course with 86.80% on Get Interactive Practical Teaching with Technology. University of London, Bloomsbury Learning Exchange, and successfully completed with distinction Cooperative Learning Pedagogy, a 4 week online course offered by GHG Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar, Sadhar, Punjab, from 22nd May 2020 to 18th June 2020 through mookit.co. This course was developed under the UNESCO OE4 B4BW Online Monitoring Program 2019. She is guiding 4 PhD students in multidisciplinary research. Wow, madam. I welcome you in this seminar, and really we are going to learn a lot from you. So once again, I welcome you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Mic is yours.
organizers. Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. And Chirag sir, thank you so much for giving this opportunity and being here with you all. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The voice.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes. Yes. Thank you. So, fine. So as sir said, my main interest is in teaching and learning, and how we can use ICT and other methods of teaching and learning. Now when we are talking about national education policy has given us many new things that has come into it, and it is mainly speaking about the multidisciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, and integrating technology and other methods into our teaching and learning. What does it mainly talk about is the student centered learning. Now when we are saying student centered learning, at that time the national education policy has given many aspects, and there are many discussions going on, seminars going on, how can we make this teaching, which is a very traditional one, most of the teachers are still going on with the traditional policies, how can we make it student centered? The policy also talks about holistic education. It talks about multidisciplinary curricula, mixing up the subjects. You must have heard about that. If the student of the science want to take the subject from engineering, he will be able to take. So he can have this multidisciplinary approach on this multidisciplinary curricula, which has been very much given in this national education policy. It talks about engaging and blending technology with the traditional teaching, different types of pedagogies, and also talks about valid, reliable, and blended assessment. Now when we think of all these things, the finally what we come to the conclusion is, it wanted a skill based approach to teaching and learning. Now when we think of all these things, the finally what we come to the conclusion is, it wanted a skill based approach to teaching and learning. or the students are taking up the homeschooling nowadays. It is a collaborative approach and network relation among the multiple stakeholders. The It is not based on a fixed curriculum or outcome. The curriculum is different. And the final thing is student centered learning, where we have to take the students from passive learning approach to active learning approach, right? So till now, what was it? The teacher was teaching in the class, delivering the lecture, and then the students were just listening. But now it is not so. We have to you can attract the attention of the students towards you is very very important. So the Gagne has given attention of the students. Now in this for education 4.0, the final thing is learning plans are now what we called as lesson plans. So now lesson plans had changed in education 4.3.0 to learning plans, and now it is creativity plans. Now we have to create experiences for the students. It is a big task for the teachers now, but somewhere we have to change she showed the way to that go to this lane, then that lane, then move right, move left. It's not so. She said, I don't want this. Tell me in longitude and latitude. Are our students able to talk in such a way when we are thinking about no something different than others? So now we don't have to see that the students what they have learned in the class. We have to see that what out of the box, what creatively the students can, how the creativity can be used in the class. So when we are thinking about the student centered teaching, at that time we have to be innovative, we have to be interactive, we have to give the live experiences to the students, and we have to be evolving. Can anybody tell me what is mean by evolving? What is mean by evolving? I can you can put it in the chat box if somebody can, or unmute yourself. See, I don't want to again make the class one way. It should be two way. So everybody I want to be interacted. So if anybody can tell me what is mean by evolving.
Madam, what I know that evolving means that if we have given something to the child and now the child is supposed to what it feels and it will create from that. If,
Yes.
as we can take an example as that there are just take that five students are there in a class and I
Hmm.
have given a a piece of mold um, uh, to every children
Okay.
and I have said them to make something a toy of it. Then we
Okay.
will find that one child is making may make flower from it. One child may try to make a rat from that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, go, very good.
we
True.
will find that each and every child is trying to make. So in this manner, we can find that what is inside the child and what it wants to, it must come out. And this is the NEP 2020, what I have learned about this.
Very good. Yeah, yeah, very right, very right. So giving them different type of experiences, giving them out of the box thinking, but then, but teachers also have to evolve themselves. Evolve is update themselves as per the need and as per the hour. Students have a thinking which we may not have thought. Today's era is the students are no from the era of alpha, what we call it as. So alpha generation is there, they are completely into the technology. Still, it may be possible that we may not be able to do some things on the computer or on our phone, but then the students can easily do it, children can easily do it. So that is alpha generation. As this generation is evolving, the teachers also need to evolve themselves. When they evolve themselves, then only the learning experiences can be provided to the students. Am I clear? Okay. So the teacher, being a teacher, the teacher has to be in the class. The teaching should be student centered, where they should help the students to evolve, help they themselves also should evolve, be innovative, be interactive, and experiential. So you have to give different experiences to the students. This is what is called as student centered teaching. So when NEP talks about the holistic education, at that time we have many students in the class, heterogeneous group in the class. If we think of higher education, if we think of Parul University only, if you go to one class, you will find the students from Gujarat and all different states of India, plus from different countries. So such an heterogeneous group you are having. With that, the students should go grow holistically. Holistically is overall development of the child. From the he should be good in his studies, he should be good in his sports, he should be good in his art, he can be good in his other aspects, communication, any other aspects. So he could grow holistically in today's classroom. That is how the classroom atmosphere or the classroom has to be created by the teachers. So when we see that we have heterogeneous group in the class, okay. Now, before going to that, tell me what type of students, when we say heterogeneous, okay, but can anybody tell me what type of learners they can be? Have you ever heard this word, type of learners? What type of learners they can be? Please
Excuse me.
unmute yourself. Yeah.
Ma'am, I think you are talking about advanced learners and slow learners.
No, that is okay, that are those are there, but there are different styles, or what we call it as the learner's grasping ability is different. So
Yes.
can you tell me what type of learners they can be? Intellectual ability, as per their intellectual ability, they grasp the knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Active and passive, okay. So we have to make, now it is not about active and passive, we have to make the whole class active now. But there are learners who have different multiple intelligences, so that those things we need to identify. As a teacher, we need to understand what is a need of a learner. Anybody else?
Ye-
Responses will be welcomed, please.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I was waiting for other participants.
Huh.
So uh, there are every student has different mental capability and way of learning. So a student may be a slow learner,
Yeah.
and again a student have it is hearing learning. Someone may have visual learning,
Very
someone
good.
may have reading learning, someone may have to participate. When the student will participate, then that that student will learn more. So
Yes.
everyone has different capacity and the way of learning also. So
Very good.
it is perfectly on
Okay.
different personalities of the students. It depend on the personalities of the students.
Yeah. It depends upon the multiple intelligence and the personality of the students. So I think Mr. Saurav also has answered very well in the chat box. He's saying that we have four different styles mainly are seen in the students when you are there teaching in the class. One is visual, other is auditory, third is by reading and writing, and four is by kinesthetic. Now when we say visual, at that time the students generally they love learning through drawings or by seeing something. Sh- if you show pictures, if you show charts, if you show graphs, if you show some no models, they learn better than they by just sitting or hearing in the class. They grasp more. But there are some students who are auditory. In at home also sometimes it happens that these students, what they do is they just tell their parents to read the answers. They'll say, see, I have the exam tomorrow, but what you do is you just read the answer, I'll be able to answer it in the examination. So they are auditory type of, when they listen they can grasp. Yes. Third one is by reading and writing. So what some children have the habit is they read and then they close the book and they write down the answer. That is how they try to grasp the things. So those students are called as by reading and writing they can learn the things. And the fourth are kinesthetic. Now your gamification and all those things come in this kinesthetic. When you say psychomotor, right? They are very much body parts they like to use, they like to work on it, and they like to uh, uh, prepare something, create something, they like to work by their hands. They are called as kinesthetic type of learners. So by when they do by their own, they grasp more. So these are the four type of learners which you find usually in your classes. As a teacher, we need to first identify those learners. We need to know which student, and as you go on teaching, by some time you will come to know that what type of learners do I have in the class, how does this student learn, how does that student learn. As a teacher, very if you are very much involved into the students, you will easily know how they are. So when we think about learning styles and when we think about the different opportunities giving to the students, at that time, here I wanted to talk about the outcome based education, right? So what outcome, whatever we are teaching, what is that the students are able to grasp, that is what is the outcome. If I want today that my learners should learn about the different strategies which can make the class active. Okay. So at the end of this session, if I see that some of the if I get the feedback from the people that yes madam, we are working on this and we have started using this in the classes, that is what my outcome is. I want this only, that my learners should use these strategies in their class and make their class active, right? So your Bloom's taxonomy is very important, which talks about the levels in which the teachers have to teach the students. It says that the teachers have to take the students from lower order thinking to higher order thinking skills. Bloom, it was no Bloom's taxonomy was made in 1956 and which was revised in 2001, whereby Benjamin Bloom is saying that you have to take the learners from LOT, that is lower order thinking skills, to higher order thinking skills. In your CBSE textbooks, you must have seen after each chapter they are giving HOTS. What is that? Those questions which make higher order thinking, which tend the students to think something different. And as a teacher, we don't have to take the students or make the students to only learn the things. That is, just remember and then recall, understand, up, understand, and then you just put it down on the paper. That should not happen. Whatever knowledge they gain, they should apply it, they should be able to analyze it, they should be able to evaluate it, and they should be able to create difference also. So this is how it is the job of a learner, to take the students from lots to hots. That is why Browne, he has talked about the open pedagogy. He says that the open pedagogy, if you use in the class can be more interactive and more active. Where he talks about the participatory technology, openness, innovative and creativity, sharing ideas and resources, connected to community, connected to the society also. The students, what is that connected to community is? To be able to gain the values also, societal values which are needed for the students, that also they need to gain. And then learner generated, the learner themselves should think and generate the ideas. They should have the reflexive practices also, feedbacks on each and everything. They should be able to give the reflect, they should be able to reflect or give the ideas on that. And peer reviews, peer learning, peer reviews, this is very very important when we talk about open pedagogy, when we talk about our class to be interactive, when we talk about our class to be active, when we talk about our students to be engaged, right? So yeah, very good, Bhargavi. You are following Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy and outcome based learning is a big
Yes,
thing which
ma'am.
we need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
discuss. Yeah, we discuss in detail about it. But at present, what we need to understand is we have to take the students from lots to hots. And how we can do it, that is what we need to strategize or need to plan about.
True, ma'am.
So how will you define this active learning? Anybody? How will you define this active learning? What do you understand by this active learning?
Participatory learning, ma'am. Blended learning.
Okay, participatory learning, blended learning,
Experiential
good.
learning.
Experiential learning, okay. Anything else?
Ma'am, collaborative learning,
Collaborative learning, very good.
usage of ICT tools.
Very nice. Usage of ICT tools.
Ma'am, field trips, tours.
Okay. So thank you, participants. You are so actively answering the you. That means you all are attentive in this session. Thank you so much for being attentive. So yes, participatory learning, experiential learning, task-based learning, and many more. Hands-on experiences, correct? Learning sciences, yes. Every time the student, you have to give the time for the students to think something, to do something different. Make them so much involved in your class that they start responding to you very actively. Each and every student is there physically and mentally in the class. Yes, Dr. Ishita, learning by doing, very good. So this is how the active learning can take place in the class. How does this active learning help the students in the class? It helps the students by promoting higher order thinking skills, and that is what our motive is. We have to give the students such experiences that the higher order thinking skill can be generated. Active learning engage the students in deep rather than surface learning. The students go deeper. They try to think, they try to analyze the things, they try to evaluate the thing. What is right and what is wrong? They try to think on it. And that is how the learning is not surfaced, but it becomes a deep learning. And then the students try to apply and then the students try to apply and transfer the knowledge better. Okay, so they, what they will do, they themselves will learn, they will enjoy in your class, and then they will discuss among themselves also what is right and what is wrong. They themselves will try to analyze, they themselves will try to think on it, they themselves will try to work on it. That is what is the transfer of knowledge. Here the peer learning is very, very important. the this learning is not restricted in the class, but it goes out of the class, that is, it goes into the peer groups also, that yes, this is what we are doing. So the knowledge gaining becomes much better. Go knowledge gaining as well as knowledge transferring, it becomes much better. This is what the active learning mainly focuses on. So when we think about active learning, if you if you see the strategies, see to it. Lecture, if you go on lecturing, it is only 5% the students can understand, and they are active in the class. Only 5% of the student, rest of the student become passive. If reading is going on, same here. Generally what we do is, randomly we ask the students to read. That is one way where we can keep the students engaged. Randomly we ask them to read, come on, read this paragraph. Then if we call out the other name, immediately, like, randomly we call out the names, and then the student have to stand up and start reading. But there also only 10% of the students are active. Audio visual, if you go on showing them a video, now for half an hour the video is going on, and the students are seeing the video. After 3 to 4 minutes the attention of the students goes somewhere else. They are not at all attentive. Nowadays students are more attentive into their mobiles rather than their than learning. So they gain more knowledge through their social media accounts and through their mobiles. If you want to keep the students engaged, this half an hour video which you are showing in the class, they'll say, why you are showing this often, this video, are we coming here to see this video? That we can see at home through YouTube also. So we are not here to see that video. So there will be only 20% of the students who will be attentive in the class. Rest of them will be, mentally they will be roaming somewhere else. After that comes the participatory method, whereby if you see demonstration, if you are demonstrating something, yes, 30% of the students are there. If the discussion is going on, 50% of the students are there in the class, and they will be involved in discussion. But our motive is not that. We don't want only 30%, 50%, 20% students to be active and to be, engaged in the class. We want more than that. So though we start with the discussions, but these discussions, the students, more than 50% students have to be engaged in the class. They have to be actively interacting in the class. So practice by doing. Such tasks need to be given to the students where they will actively participate into it, and then you can get the attention of almost 75% students. And the last one is, as I told you, peer learning. That is more important. Teaching each other, learning from each other is more important than anything else. So by that, when they understand, when they grasp, they will try to tell others also, or share it with others also. So then that is 90% where they really share with others. This is how the learning pyramid is. This is how the knowledge retention takes place in the students. So we as a teacher of this 21st century, one important skill which we have to develop in ourselves is making students more engaged in the classes, making students more active in the classes. First and important thing is KYS. Can anybody tell me what is this KYS? Can anybody tell me what is this KYS? I've written here KYS on this slide. Anyone, please?
No idea, ma'am, please.
Okay. Any guesses? Any guesses?
Know your students.
Very good. Know your student. This is the important thing. First, as I told you, what skills the students have, what type of learning they need, that the teacher should know the students very well. First and foremost thing for the teacher is know your student and accordingly give them the learning experiences. Our ultimate goal is to give the students learning experiences. Learning should take place. That is what it is. So when we are framing or when we are preparing our learning lessons for the students, learning plans, creativity plans for the students, at that time it should be in such a way where you know that you know your students very well. So first and foremost thing which every teacher should keep in mind is know your students. When you know your students, you can organize your plan, you can organize your your no learning plans, we can say, or creativity plans very well. So when you plan it, please plan it in this such a way that the students are engaged. So first is advanced organizing. First you plan your lessons, go to the class, have recapitulation, that is gain the attention of the students by recapitulating or by many other things. Sometimes what happens is, if you go to the class and if you have very quickly you ask the questions, yes, this, students gain attention automatically. So the first and foremost thing is we have to getting the attention of the students and recapitulate what you have taught them before. Okay, then you will have 10 to 12 minutes of lecture. In between, 2 to 3 minutes of small activity, and that activity can be also, raise your hands, put down, raise your hands, put down. This way also you can do it. So that also can be done so that the students are attentive. 10 to 12 minutes, if they are attentive, they will learn. Next, you give them the 2 to 3 minutes of break and again gain their attention. Again 10 to 12 minutes of lecture, again a small activity of 3 to 4 minutes, and again 10 to 12 minutes of lecture, and then lastly summarize your the topic whatever you have taught. This is how you can plan your lesson. Each lecture has to be planned in this way. It is, it is it may be your school classes, school lessons, or it may be the lessons of higher education. Higher education students also, if you see, they also enjoy if the lessons are planned in this way. So this is how you have to first know your students and then plan your classes. Therefore, when we think about the innovative approaches, the first thing, as I told you, is peer teaching. Then blending technology, using different type of videos, if you're using different type of ppts, using different type of gamification. Somebody just said that gamification also, yes, you can use such gamifications in the class. Then crossovers is you can have the quizzes, you can have two groups and you can have discussions among themselves. You can have, no, if you go on with the quiz, a group, b group, such a way you can have a learning, you can have such activities for the students whereby the learning can take place. Then style based learning, where you want that this student this many students want this type of learning, so that way you can go on with the type learning, style based learning, flipped classroom, personalized learning, and then QR code enabled learning. QR code enabled learning is where you can share the QR codes and small tools. We do have interactive tools in our technology which can be used for learning as well. So this is what can be planned when you are taking the classes.
அவ கூட சந்தோஷமா வாழ்ற வழிய பாரு. அதை விட்டுட்டு
Hello.
கிஃப்ட வீட்ல வச்சுட்டு
Hello.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Please
Ma'am,
continue.
Yes,
crossover
sir.
means?
Crossover is making two groups and asking the questions.
Okay.
Okay, asking
Yes.
the question, one group will ask the questions to other group will ask the questions to the first group. That is
Okay.
how the discussions can take place, or that is how the you can have quizzes also for the students in that way.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
So Benjamin Franklin has rightly said, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I will learn. So what I want to do, I want to make my students learn. They no, if you just go on telling them something, they will forget. If you teach them, okay, 10%, 20%, as I showed you the class distributed, and the active learning and passive. So they there will be passive, but there will be the students will be passive, they will remember something. But when you make them involve into the activities, yes, the learning takes place. Yeah, I hope I'm clear till here. Any doubt, any question? Should I move further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So simple, in a simple way, I need to tell you, or we need to understand as a teacher, that we need to take the students from simple to complex. We need to make them from easy to difficult. We need to take them. So with this active learning, how it is possible? Okay, so we can have large discussion groups, we can have self assessment, we can have informal groups, we can have peer reviews, we can have case studies, we can have hands on technology, and many more. So that is how we can make them learn in the classes. So here further, we will be learning about some of the activities that we can do in the class, okay, based on active learning. So the first thing that I wanted to discuss is experiential learning. Yeah, anybody want to say something about experiential learning? Somebody in between had said, talked about experiential learning. Can you share anything about experiential learning? Any participant? What do you understand by experiential learning?
Madam, if we assign some work to the
Yeah.
students,
Okay.
and then and when the students will do that work, they will
Hmm.
learn. And I think that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is the most burning example of this.
Yes.
That
Okay.
that now we can see that in nowadays children do not just throw their wrapper of the chocolates on the streets. They keep it in their pocket, and
Yes.
and then they put it in the
Right.
garbage bag at their home. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
this is the best example of experiential learning.
Experiential learning, yes, to provide the real experiences to the students, and by which they can learn. Now when we think about adolescent students, the adolescent students, if you go on telling them that, say, this is not you will not be doing this, the students will not listen to you. They will say, why shouldn't I do it? They wanted to gain experience, they wanted to know, why shouldn't I do that? Let them take the experience once, let them know why they shouldn't do it. So Mr. Saurav has written in the chat box very rightly that experiential learning is a process of learning by doing. It is engaging students in hands on experiences and reflections. Very good. Uh, Mr. Saurav, very rightly said. So, experiential learning, this is a very, very powerful approach of learning, whereby the students' emphasis is learning through direct experiences and reflections. They try to gain the experience and try to reflect on it. It is a hands-on training method where learners actively engage in experiences, analyze those experiences, and draw conclusions from it. They actively get engaged into experiences. They do things, they analyze those experiences and try to draw the conclusions from the same. This is how they try to learn. So this is experiential learning, where the students, you need to give them the experiences. Whose responsibility is it? It is the responsibility of the teachers to give them the experiences. So from that we need to understand that first, the concrete experience that the teacher has to give. See the figure that I have given over here. The teacher has to give the concrete experiences, make them feel and watch and do the things, observe them, what are they doing, observe what are they doing, try to assimilate, think what, observe what the students are doing. There is an abstract conceptualization of thinking in the students. Let them do it. They will think and do the things. They will have the active experimentation on the things. Let them accommodate it. That is, let them feel and do it. And then let them gain the experiences again. This is how the circle goes on, whereby the students get the try to get the experiences, they try to feel it, they try to think it, what can be done further, then they try to do it. When they do it again, they gain the experiences. This is how their active participation is there in the classes. So where this is what no, it is complete circle where the students are working on their own. So this is the first thing that we have discussed is experiential learning. In experiential learning, the examples can be simulations and role plays can be given to the students. Their internship and apprenticeship. Sometimes what happens is, students, when they go to internships, they come to know what is there in the industry. They get the experiences and then they decide whether this field is correct for me or not. So they have their own reflections on that. This is what is very important. This is what is the technique which the students try to think on it and try to act on it. Outdoor education, where they have to promote teamwork, problem solving, and leadership skills. Then lab experiments and also field trip. That is why we always organize field trips, we organize industrial visits, we organize internships for the students, we organize apprenticeships for the students, we use simulation methods in the classes, so that students can gain the experiences and they will come to know what is right and what is wrong. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So the next one is task based learning. Giving different tasks to the students. When you give the task, the students are able to do it and they are able to learn it. Now, this task based learning mainly is used for communication. Yes. So mainly it is used in communication. When we use communication skills, when we want that the student should learn the communication skills, the language skills, that time mainly the task based learning is used. So this method is used for language acquisition And this method emphasizes on, as I said, communication, problem solving, and active participation, making the learning process more engaging and relevant. Here, the tasks are small tasks are given to the students to learn the grammar, initially to learn the vocabulary. If the students want to learn the vocabulary, we are giving one word will be given, and then ask the students to, okay, find out the other words of this, synonyms, antonyms, the nouns, pronouns, and adjectives of this particular verb, and then discuss it among yourself. This is how the students learn. So that task is been given to the students, whereby the language acquisition can take place. Buzz method, this is very relevant. Now we mainly use in the classes. What we do is, we make the students, put the students in small groups, give one question to them, let them discuss among themselves, that buzzing sound is created. So that is a buzz method which is being used by the students. So one huddle group is divided into two subgroups. Okay. Now, next method I'm talking about the flipped classroom. Can anybody tell me the meaning of flipped? Can anybody tell me the meaning of flipped? Except the madam who is answering, except her, if anybody else can be bit active and can tell me what do you understand by the word flipped.
Flip, ma'am,
I
can
hope
we assign one task to two different groups? Can it be like that?
no.
Or one time
Uh,
one task is given and the other time the other task is given? Something like that?
no, it is a bit different than that.
Okay.
Specific topic, okay. Very good. Role of a teacher and student is reversed. Okay. Anything else? I'm very happy that you people are answering. Some little more. Flipped, to change.
Ma'am, there is even no
Yes.
limit of space and time.
Where there is no limit of space and time. Very good. Quick change. Okay. Okay. So we will go.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, is it
Yeah.
something where you get to learn outside the environment changes from the usual classroom setup?
Yes. Yes. Very good. You are coming nearer to it. Very good. Student
Huh.
seminar. Okay.
Okay.
You're coming very much near to it.
Mm,
Okay. So let me come to it. Now, we have generally seen the traditional classroom. In the traditional
I
classroom,
think this is interchange. It is interchange.
what interchange? What
That
interchange?
that it is not only that the students are only is not that to learn, and when the students are assigned that now you have
Hmm?
to show what you can say that that earlier you have said that evolution, that what
Hmm.
is inside the students when they are assigned to teach to other persons, then this is the flip that what I am understanding.
No.
Flip, it
See,
is just to
yeah,
interchange.
yeah. I'll explain. Flipped classroom
Ma'am,
is.
flipped teaching, excuse me. Ma'am, flipped
Yes.
teaching is nothing else that, but the student plays the role of a teacher. They
Okay,
interchange, as you
it's
said. The
little bit
student
nearer,
comes and
but not exactly that. What we understand from flipped classroom is, it is not the traditional classroom where the students,
yeah.
we give the knowledge, or we share the experiences, or we give the learning experiences to the students in the class. It is not
Modern
so.
classroom,
The
ma'am.
modern classroom is the experiences, or whatever
Yes.
topic you are going to teach the students, it is given to
New
the students
methodology we are
before.
Students
using.
to teach. That's what I'm saying. It is given to
Before
the
the
students
study
and they
material
teach.
is, yes, the study material is shared with the students before. They are not told ki this is the topic which is been which will be taught to you tomorrow, or this is the topic which you have to come prepared to the class tomorrow. right? So after the class or at home, the students are been given the work where they will learn the things on their own, and then when they come to the class, the teacher's role is only to create the discussions. The teacher will not teach at all. The topics will be shared by the students themselves, and if any problem is there, the teacher will interpret, or the teacher will observe how the students are telling about it. That is what the method is called as flipped classroom. In this flipped classroom, students learn more by themselves. It is self-paced learning. Am I clear? So here, what in the flipped classroom? Instructor records and shares lecture outside the class. Students watch, listen the lectures before coming to the class. And then when class time is devoted to the applied learning activities and more higher order thinking task. The activities are given that the more higher order thinking can be developed into the students. It is not the simple task or not the traditional class which is been given, which is been there. It is something different. More higher order thinking is reached by the students. So in the flipped classroom, during the class, students participate. Before the class, students prepare to participate in the class activity. So they give their time for preparation. They come prepared to the class. During the class, they practice applying the keys and concepts and give the feedbacks to each other. So what happens is this peer learning, which they do it in the class. They exchange their knowledge in the class in front of other friends. So that becomes, the learning becomes more accurate and more correct. And then after the class, students check their understanding and the learning to what extent they have learned the things. This is what the flipped classroom is all about. I hope I'm clear. So what are the components in this? Students explain themselves first, then they try to explore what more things are there into it. They try to surf about that particular topics. When they come to the class is how it is completely engaged. They evaluate the things, whatever the others are presenting, they try to evaluate, they try to give the feedback to their friends, and then they elaborate on the learning experiences. This is how the learning takes place. So these are the two different things where outside the class also the students, the learning component is there, whereas in the class also the learning component is there. So there is no, students can learn much better than the traditional classes. They completely get involved into it and try to learn on their own, try to express on their own, try to share on their own, try to teach on their own, and try to explore the things or get or no understand the things much better than the before. So their concepts are very much clear when they go through it. I hope I'm clear.
I have a question, ma'am, please.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please reflect upon buzz method and huddle method?
Buzz in the buzz method, it is just a small groups are being made and you give them any topic. They have to discuss among themselves and then present in the class. So when that buzzing sound is there, that huddle group, one huddle group we call it as a big group. A big group is made in they are converted into small short groups, and
Okay.
then this method is there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that buzz sound comes out when they are discussing among themselves. That is why it is called as buzz method. So when these activities are going on, mainly the passive learners change into active learners. Those who are passive in the class, who are not able to express something in the class, they also become active, and then the active learning takes place in the class. So these methods are very much useful for active learning. Next is think, pair, share. What do you understand by these words? Think, pair, share. Very simple. I'll tell you, this method is very simple, and really you people have to do this. We don't do it, but then you have to. If you put a certain questions to the students, give them time to think on it. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Think, what do you understand? Okay, so done. Fine. Now you pair it with the person who is sitting near you. Benchmate, whoever is the benchmate, pair it with him. Discuss, both of you discuss among yourself. Have you discussed? Okay, now share it to the class. That is how it is. Think, pair, and share. In this, what happens is, if the other person who is sitting nearby, if he is not thinking, he will also start thinking on it. Yes, collaborative learning. So this is how the collaborative learning takes place in the class. So these are some methods which I will be talking about the collaborative learning only. So think, pair, share is one simple method, and we need to use it in the class so that the students get actively engaged into it. It promotes, yes, it promotes students engagement more, because each one gets the time, 2 to 3 minutes to think, discuss, and then share what they understand from it. Next is jigsaw method, which this jigsaw method is generally used by for the learners to understand what exactly they know, how the groups can be made, and how they can understand the things very thoroughly. The concepts can be more clear by this method. So I'm showing you a small video. Try to understand and then try to explain in your words. I hope the video is audible and visible.
Yes, please.
See, I'll explain. In jigsaw, what exactly it is. The
So,
students are there
is
in
it
a group in the
cooperative learning?
class. The whole class is there. Now the students yes, yes, cooperative learning.
Cooperative learning.
Now students work in a small groups. Cooperative learning. Yes. Now they are made, or the teacher prepare a small group of students, where some expert, they have to become experts on a single topic which is given to them, right? That is how the groups are being made.
Pause the video, ma'am.
Is it clear? Just a minute, I'll tell you. So here what is there, uh, uh, the teacher, the students are dispersed into groups. They are made, 4 groups are made. Here is given the example about the tree. There are parts of tree where you have leaves, you have trunk, you have roots, you have fruit, and you have flower. Okay, if such parts of trees are there, the students are given the task, like this group is going to talk about, or is going to study only about leaves. The other group is going to study only about the roots. The third group is going to study only about the fruits, and the fourth group is going to study about the flowers. Now when they come together and they study about only one part, this concepts becomes very much clear to them. Yes, it is like peer teaching, correct. These concepts become very much clear to them. Now, once they study these concepts, they will be shifted, or they are shifted to the other groups, so that they are going to explain these concepts to the other group. So when they explain this concept to the other group, what happens is learning becomes more easier and very interactive for the students. They enjoy being there, or they enjoy being there in their group, and they enjoy being with their friends, and they learn the things through that. So in this jigsaw method, what exactly happens is, it is positive solidity. That is, the students solidly learn something. It is the students actually learn something. Every student is having some or other responsibility. It is individual responsibility which the students have. The heterogeneous group is brought together. All the students with the different learning abilities come together and work in group. It is a group work that the students are doing. Sustainability of this study. So when this they learn the things so nicely that it is sustainable for a long time. They gain the leadership activity. They understand what is how we can know they become leaders, and the leadership skill is developed into them. Cooperative learning, and the equal opportunity is given to everyone. This is how the jigsaw method works. So if you can do this in the class, the concepts which you want, that the student should be very much clear with these concepts, and these concepts are going to no the students are going to learn this for lifelong, and they are going to work on this. Such concepts actually need to be given to the students, and make them learn through this jigsaw method only. I hope I'm clear. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
No,
Clear?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. So the next is fishbowl method. In this fishbowl method, what exactly you see the video, though I think voice is not there. I don't know why. This is about the it is about when the students, when you want that the discussion should be there, students should learn by discussing. At that time you can have this strategy. Now here, if you see that the class is a large class, and you want that the students should learn with themselves, with their own space, with their own understanding, at that time this fish ball technique is mainly used. What here you have to do is, you have to create two groups, in which the inner group will be discussing on the given topic, whereas the outer group will be observing them. They have to play the role only of the observer. They will be observing what the inner people are doing. So when the inner people finish their discussion, it might happen that some inner people may go in the outer circle, and some outer circles students may come into the inner circle and again discuss, or give their opinions or views about what they think about it. So this can always happen. So by this, the students try to learn more than what they have learned before. This is how in a circular motion you have to make the structure of the discussion. Yes, you can give this topic to the students beforehand, let them think on it, let them discuss on it, and then it can give it as a homework also. The teacher has to have the rules, set the rules that there will be, the discussion should be healthy, there should be no slang language used for it, there should be no abusive language used for it. You have to be very technically very sound when you're speaking about anything. Each and everyone will participate in the discussion, but one at a time. They also have to respect others. This is what you have to you yourself have to have certain what you can say, disciplinary rules for that, or disciplinary rules for that, uh, that strategy. In the class, when you're giving this fishball technique, you need to first set the rules for the students, then only you can apply it. Otherwise it will become a mess. Students will not be able to discuss, students will not be able to understand. So for fishball, first of all, you have to make two groups. One will be the fishball who will be discussing, and the other group around it will be the group who is observing. Might be they may change their places and later on the discussion may take, but the discussion should be healthy, to the point, no abusive language in the given time period, and each one in the fishball group have to come prepared before they enter these groups. Then the concepts would be more clear. So these were some of the interactive techniques which I have discussed with you all. Any doubt till here? Okay. So with that, some interactive learnings, that is use games, simulations, interactive apps, and learning funds and engaging. So this can be also used where you have it is available, the simple tools or simple apps are available, or even online very in a free mode. So that also you can use. You must collaborative projects can be given to the students whereby they can encourage teamwork and collective problem solving aspects can be discussed with the students. You can help in improving their creativity as well as problem solving techniques in the students. Creative assignments can be given to the students, such as preparing videos, drawings, or other creative things can be, preparing models. That also is a thing which can be given to the students. And then you have to see to it that the continuous learning takes place and students are updated with the latest technologies and educational trends. Not only students but the teachers also are very much updated in the latest trends. So this is what our responsibility is. So when we talk about NEP and when we talk about active learning, we as a teacher have a more responsibility than the students. It is, that is why I told you in the beginning only that now we have to prepare creative plans for the students so that we can make our class an active class. Then only somewhere by 2030 we can achieve the some aspects of NEP 2020. I hope I'm clear to you all.
Jigsaw is an instructional strategy that is not only named after the process of putting together many pieces to form one cohesive picture, but models that process as well. During a jigsaw, students disperse from their original team and work in small groups on a common task to become experts on a single topic that is part of a larger focus area, either in a lesson or a unit. For example, if the larger focus area is a tree, The subtopics could be leaves, roots, trunk and branches, and fruit. In this example, the class would be divided into teams of 4. Each team member would then be assigned one of those parts of the tree to research. In a team of 4, one student would be assigned to the leaves, another to the roots, a third to the trunk and branches, and the remaining student to the fruit. At the start of the jigsaw, each student would disperse from their teams to join their focus group. As a result, each student who was assigned to roots in their team will move to an area and share resources to learn all relevant information about roots. Simultaneously, the other 3 focus groups would gather and share resources as well. After a set amount of time, the focus groups would return to their original teams. The students would then present their information to their team. The end result is that every student in the class would have learned about all parts of a tree while only having had to become an expert on one part. In this way, a jigsaw negates the need for extended direct instruction by the teacher, while also avoiding overwhelming students with independent research responsibilities. Generally, while jigsaws place responsibility on students to acquire and present information on a topic, this activity still requires a significant amount of preparation on the teacher's part. In order for a jigsaw to be successful, it should be highly structured and well-resourced for students. On the day of a jigsaw, much of the instruction a teacher will deliver will be about the logistics of the activity, including focus group assignments, student movement details, assignment expectations, behavior expectations, and timing. Students need to know which focus group they have been assigned to, where in the room their focus group will meet, and how long they will have to work on their deliverable. Most likely, establishing clear expectations for a deliverable, whether it is a checklist, a rubric, or a capture sheet, will require the most work on the teacher's part. Included in this preparation is the task of ensuring that each focus group has adequate access to the necessary resources to successfully complete their deliverable task. These resources could include books, other readings, videos, sound recordings, etc. The benefits of a jigsaw are multifaceted. Jigsaws promote collaboration, team building, research skills, presentation skills, independent learning, and time management. The final key component of a jigsaw is the teacher's responsibility to ensure that every student has access to and can access the information that the class is expected to know for any future performance tasks. Closing a jigsaw without some sort of whole class review and reflection is a common pitfall, especially since this is one activity that can easily take more time than was originally intended. That being said, when utilizing the jigsaw strategy, it is important to understand the time constraints of class periods and proactively plan for the possibility of the activity lasting more than one day. Ensuring content standards are met should not be sacrificed due to time, nor should the process of allowing students to develop and practice transferable skills. Jigsaws are often seen as time savers in the classroom, which has the adverse effect of cutting this rich activity short. However, the value of a jigsaw should instead be placed on the simultaneous skill development and content knowledge growth that it promotes in order to allow the class time necessary to make the most of this robust strategy. When jigsaws are practiced regularly, students become accustomed to both the process and expectations, thus improving the overall outcome of the activity as well as student buy-in. See you later.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it was really, I don't know why it was not audible from here. Thank you for your support.
And there is a second video also that is about the example that I have given.
Yes, yes.
These knowledge strategies, right? All the participants, please be careful and listen this video also.
The fishbowl strategy is a way for teachers to organize medium to large group discussions. This strategy allows some students to participate in a discussion while other students observe. Organizing students in a fishbowl design is helpful when you want participation from all students and when you need more structure while discussing controversial topics. It's a particularly successful strategy when you have a large class or when you have a few students who typically dominate discussions or do not share at all. First, you must select a topic for discussion. Almost any topic works, but the best ones allow for multiple opinions and interpretations. After selecting the topic, you need to set up the room. Create a circle of about 6 to 12 chairs. This is the fishbowl. Make sure you have enough room for students to sit or stand around the fishbowl so they can observe. The 6 to 12 students inside the fishbowl will discuss the topic, while the students in the outer circle observe the discussion. Before beginning, allow students time to prepare for the discussion. You can give the topic to students as homework or a few minutes before the discussion begins. Either method gives students the opportunity to gather ideas and reflect on the topic. When students have enough time to think about the topic, the discussion is usually more lively and productive. Before beginning the discussion, establish expectations. Emphasize the need for students in the outer circle to remain quiet and to only observe. You'll want the outer circle to look for certain aspects of the discussion. You want them to write down their observations and listen for respectful or disrespectful language, exceptional arguments, interruptions, or the number of times students share their opinions. The students in the fishbowl controversial topics can become emotional. Emphasize the students to remain calm and respectful because everyone will have an opportunity to speak. Students in the fishbowl must listen to others' opinions and respond respectfully. After the discussion, give students an opportunity to reflect on what was said. All students from both circles can write down their opinions about how well the discussion progressed or about the ideas that were shared. After listening to the discussion and reflecting on the opinions, students may be able to add more arguments, examples, or interpretations to their the circles change places. This method allows students to hear both sides of an argument. Another idea is to have students from the outer circle tap in to the inner circle. The student can tap on the shoulder of someone who just shared an opinion, then they can switch places. This variation allows students from the outer circle to get involved in the discussion as soon as they are ready with an idea. No matter what version is used for the fishbowl strategy, students will explore different perspectives, engage in active learning, and concentrate on strong communication skills. See you later.
Burning example that you have presented to us, that how can we make such classes, and in between the interaction and your question answers and the visual presentation were really very worked hard. You worked hard on that, and really it was very impressive, and I have learned a lot from it. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pallavi, for being with us as a resource person for today's topic. I hope all the participants have learned many things about today's topics and some activities based learning strategies and teaching strategies. And today's video will be also available. The full recording will be available on our YouTube channel. So participants, those who have missed some portions, can also watch again the recorded video.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for helping me with the videos, and thank you, participants, for being so interactive. I also enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. So thank you for giving this opportunity, and we'll be connected further also for the such type of sessions, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Always welcome.
Okay.